Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. Unless you guys are new to the channel, it is very nice to meet you guys. As you can probably tell from my name, I mostly focus on cryptocurrencies. However, I also do things in the stock market now, and I'm going to be talking to you guys today about a stock called Bayport International Holdings. I saw that this had a high percentage move today on the plus side, while the rest of the market was kind of suffering. And I wanted to dive into it a little bit more and do some research and figure out if this is something that would actually be worth, looking into. And so here I am doing my video, and you guys can take of this what you will, but I do find some things that are pretty interesting with this, and I want to just kind of make a note of it. Okay, so if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button as well. Let's try and get this video to at least 100 likes. Click on the bell icon so you can stay up to date for all the latest in the news for stocks. And then if you guys are interested in stuff with crypto, you guys can. Just a quick side note, if you guys want to, feel free to check me out. If you guys want to, feel free to use the referral links. For some reason, I was thinking my Twitter for a second there. I've got some referral links in the description for like Webull, for Coinbase, for BlockFi, and Robinhood. I would recommend Webull more over the Robinhood side, but hey, it's free stocks, right? But you guys are here for what's going on for BAYP, aka Bayport International Holdings, and what exactly has been going on with this, right? So first off, what are they, right? That's probably the biggest thing that we should start off with. Excuse me. So Bayport International Holdings Incorporated engages in the acquisition and mining of oil and gas properties in the United States. Okay. The company is also involved in the acquisition and exploitation of mining properties, primarily precious metals. So I'm thinking gold and silver, that kind of a thing, and rare earth and other metals. It holds interests in various oil and gas properties, including Wayne Prospect, located in Wayne County, West Virginia, Brownwell Lease in McIntosh County, Oklahoma, Steffel Beam Lease in Forest County, Pennsylvania, and Milford Lease located in Forest County, Pennsylvania, as well as owns interests in the wells located within Gaines County, Texas. The company was formerly known as Exit Only Incorporated and changed its name to Bayport International Holding Incorporated in 2012. Bayport International Holdings Inc. was founded in 2004 and is headquartered in Dallas, Texas, right? So that's what they are, what they focus on. One of the big things that I want to kind of identify with this is when you take a look at some of the biggest leaders in the stock industry space, one of them would be Berkshire Hathaway. Now, let me clarify. Berkshire Hathaway is not saying that they bought into this. The reason why I'm bringing them up is because they did support a Canadian-based gold mining company, and during that kind of pursuit, it's largely because of what's been going on with our whole printing system here in the United States, the devaluation of the dollar, that kind of a thing. And so there's been this big boom in supporting different mining companies, not just for stuff like precious metals, but also for things for cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin mining rigs and stuff. So, that whole industry space is definitely seeing some more community support, and this potentially could be one of those things that are being included in that. This company has a market cap of $196 billion. I've never heard of this company. Maybe you guys have. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, some of you guys obviously have. Or maybe you're just curious as well because you saw that it had such a massive gain in percentage for the day. And it's like, what's up with this, right? So $196 billion in market cap. As far as for the opening position, it was at $9.27. And it ended up closing out on the daily pretty dang high. I mean, it ended up closing at $14.46. So it had a really good day, to say the least, right? As you guys can also see here, $14.46. So its volume was also pretty substantial here. 477, almost 478,000 shares. Quite a bit of a plunge into that. For the charts, you guys can also see it wasn't just one day. We've actually been on a chain of days going on with this, which is very interesting because typically when you see a pump and dump situation, it's a one and done thing, right? It goes up one day and then it's down the next. But here it is, and it's actually making some recovery. And if we go back historically, there's a whole story to kind of tell with this. But for now, we're just focusing on trying to condense things. I don't even know how many people are going to be interested in this video, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and cover some of the main points of what I think. And then you guys let me know in the comments if you guys want to see me do more stuff on this in the future. But I think this should be on people's radar. definitely for at least the short term, because there's looking like there's some good potential with this. So one thing that I was curious about is when you take a look at the price point of $14.46, maybe there was a stock split, right? And so in this case, it did have a reverse stock split, and it was actually mentioned over here in this little post. This person said, "Thanks for the info, Renee. Rahman was right on target when he predicted this in his recent post. For context, that's 13 billion shares going to 1.3 million for the OS. Those holdings, 1 million shares at 0.002, will instead be holding 10 shares at $2. So much for dreaming about 1 million shares, yada, yada, yada," right? So long story short is that it did have a reverse stock split. And this was posted back in early January of this year. So this is still pretty recent. We're talking about within the last couple months. And if you're not familiar with this, the reason why they do a reverse stock split is largely because of the fact of them potentially going and getting delisted, right? So if the price per share it becomes too small, you could get delisted off of the stock exchange. And with a company that's worth, $196 billion as far as their market cap goes, you probably don't want that to really happen. So right now they're doing pretty darn good as far as their price point goes. $14.46. This isn't like a penny stock kind of a thing. They handle some different industry spaces. They've been around for a decent amount of time. A lot of interesting stuff going on in that regard, right? But one thing that I found that was a little bit confusing, I go over to NASDAQ here, and I wanted to see who were the institutional holders for this, and I don't really see anything. I mean, the only thing that's listed here is Alpha Mark Advisors, LLC. That was as of December 31st, shares held 100. So there's nothing like really that pertinent with this. I'm like, well, that's kind of odd. I thought maybe there'd be more activity. I thought there'd be some news going on with this. Nothing significant in the last week, really. It seems very odd, right? I'm like, what is this? So anyways, aside from the fact that there not really being much of news, there still is a lot of sentiment from an investor side behind this, and it seems like it's kind of going under the radar, which is surprising because it's having a consecutive rally on this push up, and I think it's something that people should definitely keep their eyes on. So when we look at this from a Fibonacci sequence, more on the short term, right, one of the key things that I want to be looking at is what zones did we break through, what is looking as new forms of resistance or support. And Fibonacci has been my tried and true beloved technical analysis indicator that I have. Other people use a lot of different things. I do use some others from time to time, but this is my bar none favorite TA that I use on this, okay? What's actually really interesting is I set it up as a baseline here using the high point of where we just bounced off of for today, and by identifying with this, we can actually see that we passed through a couple key different zones. Let's go ahead and go back a little bit here. So when this actually was running through the red zone, this kind of consolidated phase, that was basically from, a 6-cent kind of range pushing all the way up to right about here around $3.60. So we were seeing in early January of this year is where they actually did that stock split, right? So looking at this right here, like around January 12th, we can actually see the way the candles were being formed, and then all of a sudden, boom, just totally started to shift. So if I had to take a guess, I'm not saying this for sure, but if I had to take a guess, it's probably like January 12th when they decided to do the stock split. It's just a guess, okay? I don't have the information directly in front of me. So it looks like the stock split had occurred with that. On the 21 EMA, it was suggesting still a bear market. It was actually labeled underneath that for a while. And there are chances of a bull run after a stock split occurs, right? And what's interesting is that lo and behold, this has been going on a bull run, and it's going on quite a significant bull run, but there's more to this story, so you guys don't want to go anywhere. So after we actually passed above the 21 EMA here, we had a daily candle closure on February 4th. That was basically a pump and dump. It's just been going back and forth between these spaces, more or less imitating what was happening back here throughout all this phase, right? Back before that stock split had actually occurred. And then on next thing you know, we had a daily candle closure that had occurred on February 19th. It was a red candle, but it was above the 21 EMA. And the next day ended up being another green candle. And then another, and this is where the parabolic run really started to move. And we went from a zone right around 45 cents all the way up. Just look at this. Look how beautiful this is. Tapping above this level on the Fibonacci, and then the next thing you know, this candle was just massive. This thing was outrageous. It passed through 1, 2, 3 different zones for the Fibonacci sequence before it ended up retracing back, losing about 3/4 of its full candle position. So that's a really tall wick. The good news is, though, that it actually had a further continuation up the next days, right? The next several days. So then in the next day here, you can see that there was a lot of bounce back and forth between the Fibonacci sequences here on the 0.382 and the 0.5. Then that daily candle had closed. The next day was back and forth between this section, between the 0.5 and the 0.618. And then the next day after that, it actually managed to hold between 2 different zones, right? So this was between the 0.618 and the 1 on the Fibonacci sequence. So one thing that I would be concerned about is if this decides it wants to pull back, it looks like it's going to have some support at $11.85 first, because we were mainly going up per the day on each one of these Fibonacci sequence zones, right? So if it's getting a little bit overextended, which according to the RSI, it's suggesting heavily that it is way up there, right? We're talking about this is like a 96.74. If this continues up the rally, though, the RSI will start to shift, and this is in comparison to everything that had before. So one thing that's concerning is that there's not much news of what was going on with this company. The next thing is just how fast it's actually pushing up. Number 3 would be the fact that I don't really see any listings of the institutional investors that are behind something like this. So if you guys happen to know more details as a community, let's share this stuff and make sure you tell us in the comments down below with it. But if this thing, let's say it wants to go up more, let's focus on the positive side first, right? So we do have some resistance occurring at $15.04. If it breaks above that, it could go all the way up to the next Fibonacci sequence here, $24.33. A next major zone is going to be up to $39.41. Another level up above that is going to be to $54.54. All the way up here to $63.58. Now, is that even possible? Let's go take a look at it historically. If I zoom out on this bad boy right here, you guys can actually see I really have to zoom out. I mean, I don't know what the heck was up with this candle. This is a really big outlier. That thing was all the way up to like 5,280 before it decided to have this huge plunge. But let's go ahead and just zoom over here for a second and just kind of pan in a bit. So sure, we did have this big drop that took place, and then it kind of came up a bit here, came down, and it was bouncing within these region zones, right? So we were kind of seeing a space that was on average between $35, like $35.50 to around like $184. We got like a zone right here and had that continuation up in the rally right there. So there's a pretty good gap from where we're currently at on the price point, don't get me wrong. And that held within that zone there. We're looking at it from like August 15th, 2014 all the way to April 28th of 2015. So that's a pretty good amount of time within that phase, right? And then it started to trickle down here, and that all led through 2015 until it just kind of flatlined out, not much activity. The volume you could see even is very low here, and then just boom. The level of volume that's going on right now is, we have never seen that with this stock. It's just absolutely going to Mars, not even to the moon. It's going straight up to Mars. So right now it is rallying really, really heavy. And the fact that it's, again, more than one day, it makes this very interesting for what's going on. So this could be a potential good play. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. Take this with a grain of salt. But if you're looking for something to try and go into, this could definitely be something that's worth looking at. And I actually want to take a look. Keep forgetting about this right here. So it closed out at 1559. That's absolutely amazing. So it says 1446. It's at 1559 as of the post market for the day. 1559. It's roughly right about here. Okay. I know it's just a little bit off, but we're just going to use that as a price point marker right there. So I thought maybe it was going to see some retracement because we were seeing that with a lot of the other stocks after the market closed. But no, this decided to want to keep rallying up even more. So it managed to break above the 1. Now it's looking like it's on track going to $24.28 next before it potentially decides to do something, right? So this, again, like I'm saying, this could very well be a very good play. I just don't like the fact that there's not much news, and I don't like this fact that I don't really see any institutional investors in it, and it has just this full continuation. That's what? How many days in green? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, more than a full week. And you can only go up for so long until it pulls back. And the fact that this is just so many days in the green, I'm a little bit concerned, okay? Now, if it decides it wants to go down, we do have support being established at $11.88, another level at $9.31. Further level down below that is going to be at $7.52, and then another level at $5.81, and then the 21 EMA is colliding right here on this baseline, and that's at $3.56. So I would be realistically looking first off at a support at $11.91. If this thing is starting to move in the pre-market, guys, this thing could just go nuts. A lot of the stock market is going absolutely wonky right now. So, keep your eyes peeled on some things. You could set up stop losses on this too. Let's say it drops down 10% from here. So that's $1.44 or something like that. Depending on how many shares that you're doing something with this, you could be like, well, yeah, I lost some money on it. It kind of sucks. But what if this thing does go pushed up, right? If it goes pushing up to $24 right here, that's quite a significant little gain. We're not talking about a little short change right here. This price range we're talking about, we could end up seeing move. That is going to be a 61% increase. And it just went up today 58%. So you can't sit there and tell me it can't hit 60%. It basically just did that today. So this is an interesting thing. RSI is also very high. Take of it what you guys will. I'm going to go and wrap up the video there. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe for more stock news and technical analysis. And also I talk about crypto stuff. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free. There's the referral stuff that's in the description there, but you guys get stuff out of that too. The Coinbase for crypto stuff. You got the BlockFi if you guys want to earn interest on your crypto. I also use BlockFi myself too. Then you got the Webull, which is more recommended, and then also Robinhood if you want to get the free stocks. I'm upset with the stuff that happened with them recently, obviously, but hey, it's free stocks. And you guys are awesome. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I don't know how this video is going to do. I'm kind of doing a shot in the dark at covering this stock. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.